Wealth, fame, power. Gold Roger, the king of the pirates, attained this and everything else the world had to offer. And his dying words drove countless souls to the seas.
You want my treasure? You can have it. I left everything I gathered together in one place. Now you just have to find it.
These words lured men to the Grand Line in pursuit of dreams greater than they'd ever dared to imagine. This is the time known as the Great Pirate Era.
Welcome back. You know, when I finished the last video, I thought to myself, I should dick ride One Piece a little bit more. And guess what? It's my channel, so I'm gonna make another video if I goddamn want to. So, you're gonna sit down, and you're gonna listen to me talk about this show again, about why I think the world of One Piece is one of the most well thought out worlds in fiction. I'm making some big claims here. I'm not gonna, I gotta tone it down a little bit. But believe me when I say, the world of One Piece, really crazy, really cool, okay? It's nothing you've ever seen before. Don't believe me? Go fuck it. Get yourself ready to learn more about this world than you would ever possibly need to know about. So strap in. We're gonna be talking about these 6 things. I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but just bear with me. So we're probably gonna go back to the basics. Let's start with factions. Even if you don't watch One Piece, you kind of get a gist for it from what people say. Naruto has ninjas, Dragon Ball Z has fighting, One Piece is pirates. And with pirates comes factions. And if you need a recap to watch the intro again, Gold Roger, the king of the pirates, as he was about to be executed, basically told everybody that he had this grand treasure called the One Piece. Everybody freaked the fuck out, and now everybody's trying to get that treasure, which is the One Piece. What is the One Piece? I don't know. That's what everybody's trying to find out. So in this world, all you really have to do to become a pirate, get a boat, get a crew, declare yourself as a pirate, skull and crossbones, and you're set. Good job, you are officially a pirate captain now. Commit some crime along the way, or don't, but there really isn't like a checklist you need to become a pirate. Okay, you're a pirate now. What does that really mean? Well, being a pirate, basically, it more or less means now you're gonna have to be fighting basically everybody, whether it's pirates, marines, or anybody that comes in between. If you're notorious enough, you'll get your own bounty. But once you become a pirate, that means you're gonna be chased by the Marines for the rest of your life. Because in this world, becoming a pirate is a very big crime. But with pirates, there are kind of like subclasses. There are thousands of pirates everywhere in this world. But there's only 4 of them that hold the most territory, the most power, and are the closest to finding the One Piece. These 4 pirates are called the 4 Emperors. And obviously, being the 4 strongest pirates in the world, that's pretty much the cream of the crop. And alongside the 4 Emperors, there are the 7 Warlords. The Warlords aren't like normal pirates though. They've actually been hired by the Marines, who we'll talk about in a second, to fight their wars for them. So like diet pirates, if you want to think about it like that. And they're generally a lot stronger than most pirates. And in the world of One Piece, the 4 Emperors, the 7 Warlords, and the Marines make up what they call the 3 Great Powers, which kind of keep the balance of everything. But not really, because like everything's kind of terrible actually. Anyway, going from pirates, we're moving to the Marines now. And for the Marines, it's pretty simple for them. You see a pirate, you capture them, or kill them to join the Navy. All you really have to do is kind of like walk up to a recruiting officer and you're in. They have this really long list of rankings of how you can climb up the ranks. But overall, the Marines are the military force for the world government. Are you staying with me? This is a lot, I know. To know about the world government, we kind of have to go back in time. And this kind of goes hand in hand with the countries. Over 70 countries came together to create the world government. And you have all the descendants of the world government leaders, who in the world of One Piece are called the Celestial Dragons. And the ironic thing is, it's a really fancy name for really stupid fucking people. And you have to remember, these people are controlling the entire world, basically. They have slaves, they take whatever they want, they kill whoever they want, they have bubbles on their heads so they don't breathe the same air as commoners. It's pretty bad. It's pretty messed up. And if you ever hurt one of them, they'll send an admiral after you. And if you weren't paying attention, the admiral's pretty high up on the Marine list. So high up, there's only 3 of them, but the world government controls damn near everything. So when you raise a skull and crossbones, you're telling the world government to go fuck itself, that you're not going to be controlled by them. And just like the pirates, there are offshoots of Marines. There is the Cypher Pole. They're kind of like the FBI. And for our third and final faction, we have the Revolutionary Army. As far as being a revolutionist, all you're really doing is fighting back against the world government. Obviously, they have their own group, their own base and stuff, but as long as you really fight back against the world government, you're more or less a revolutionary. Unlike pirates, revolutionists don't really go around doing whatever they want. Their main purpose is to just destroy the world government. And they have like a couple little ranks here and there, but for the most part, that's all they're planning on doing is destroying the world government. So if you take a step back, it kind of makes pirates seem a little small, and they don't really play as big as a part, at least in the general scope of the world. Okay, that was actually kind of long. That was a lot longer than I thought it would take to talk about that. Yeah, that's probably good we got that out of the way first. So everyone just kind of take a breath, relax for a little bit before we jump into the next topic. Grab yourself a water, a rag maybe, wipe the sweat off of your fucking brow. Hang out with your family, and we'll jump into the next one. The geography of One Piece genuinely is probably my favorite part about it. A lot of people are thinking that it's just like a really big ocean, and you're not wrong, but on the planet of One Piece, there's one continent and millions of islands. The one strip of continent around the globe is called the Red Line. I gotta pull up a map, I can't remember this shit off the top of my head. And on the planet of One Piece, there's a strip of area called the Grand Line. And once that circles all the way around to the Red Line, it then becomes the New World. It sounds kind of complicated, but it's not, I swear. So with the Grand Line, the New World, and the Red Line, they cut the world into 4 different areas, with the North Blue, East Blue, West Blue, and South Blue. And all these sections have their own islands as well. And for people to get to the last island, Laugh Tale, which is where the One Piece supposedly is, they have to go through Reverse Mountain, which is through the Red Line, go all the way through the Grand Line, all the way through the New World, and then they'll finally make it. Well, Cody, why don't they just go through the middle? Hey, dumbass. Oh, why did that hurt my throat? Along the sides of the Grand Line and the New World, there's a strip of area on each side called the Calm Belt. This is where thousands of sea creatures live, and even the strongest people of One Piece have a difficult time getting through there. And the seas of One Piece get really weird and extremely crazy because this place has 6 moons. One of them is close enough. You can just take a balloon and fly up there. It's really easy to get to the moon. There are these crazy storms and weird weather patterns, so it makes it really difficult for people to start their journey. And for people just starting their journey, they have to use this thing called a log compass. Every island in this world gives off a magnetic force, which will draw the compass in, and because there are so many islands, the compass can randomly pick one. So with that information, it means that everybody can have their own adventure. Randomly picked islands. You could start in the same place 5 times in a row, but where you might end up will always be different. If you thought that there were only islands in the sea, you're dead wrong. They've got islands underwater and in the sky. That's what makes One Piece so special. Anybody who becomes a pirate will always have their own adventure, and it'll always be different. I don't know, the care that Oda puts into his world, and the fact that we're in this video as deep as we are already, and I've only covered 2 of the topics, even this amount of information I'm not getting from other worlds. Try and think of one show or one movie where the world is as complex and laid out as it is in One Piece. But it's 2 down, 4 more to go. I've been kind of avoiding it, so let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. Let's go ahead and knock out countries. Pretty much every island is its own country, and what makes a lot of these islands feel really unique is that Oda takes inspiration from real life with a lot of these places. You have things like Spain, and what is it, Rome, I think? I don't know, the fucking place where the water's in the streets or whatever. Brazil, and a lot of these places are ruled by a king, kind of have like an oligarchy system set up. And it's really cool to see how these different countries react to each other. Again, I think a good chunk of the world is covered by the world government. The biggest part of the countries is the culture that you can find in them. I kind of want to keep this brief. I don't want to touch too much on it. Part of the fun is kind of like going and finding those cultures and cities and things on your own and experiencing them for the first time. Also, they kind of do this thing. Every so often, all the leaders of the world from every country gather together in this thing called a reverie, kind of like an event, where they all sit down and discuss the topics, and usually that changes some kind of aspect in the world. It's pretty neat. It's pretty cool. There's not a whole lot to talk about with the countries, kind of why I'm skimming over it. I think a good part of it is you really just have to experience it yourself. You have to go and watch the show, because it goes way more in depth with each different island and their own countries and things like that than I think I could ever will be able to. So get the Fuck out of your countries. We're moving on. All right, I've been boring your head off. Let's talk about the powers. This is probably the most interesting part for a lot of people. It's the powers of the world. You know, Star Wars has like the Force, lightsabers, and shit like that. Harry Potter's got the wands, magic, you know, blah, blah, blah. Who gives a shit? Whatever. Let's say you're a pirate. You're going from island to island, and you stumble across a weird-looking fruit. You take a bite out of it. It tastes like shit, but now you've got superpowers. What kind of superpower? Well, it can be one of three things. It can either be a Logia. Just imagine the Sandman, but as any kind of natural element. Lightning, light, magma, sand. You can't get hurt by normal means. You can pretty much fly. You can be a Zoan, which is what the furries might enjoy. Basically, you turn into an animal. You have the animal form, human form, and then there's the hybrid that you can turn into. And then there's the Paramecia. That's everything else, basically. If you don't fit into the other two categories, you go in that one. Zoans are probably the strongest, believe it or not. They have ancient Zoans, which would be like mammoth, dinosaur, fucking creatures. And then there's mythical Zoans, where you can just turn into God if you're lucky. But the thing is, you'll never know what power you get unless you eat the fruit first. And guess what? Once you eat it, that's it. There's no getting rid of it. You're stuck with that for the rest of your life. So pray that you get something cool and you don't get the jacket fruit, which lets the user get put on like a jacket. Jesus Christ. Well, Cody, why not just eat another one if you get a bad one? You'll die. God says no. You can't do that. You'll die. You'll blow up. You'll literally explode if you eat two. They're pretty rare to find, the devil fruits. So if you ever stumble across one, just pray to God that it's something good. Because Jesus Christ, it can be insanely amazing or just the worst thing ever. Forgot to mention, devil fruit's pretty fun. When you eat a devil fruit, you lose your ability to swim. Just straight up. You will start drowning if you are underwater. Doesn't matter how good of a swimmer you are, you'll sink like a rock and drown. So on top of having some stupid ass power, you can no longer swim in a world that is 90% water. There are other abilities as well. I'll talk about the 6 powers. So the 6 powers are pretty cool. They kind of just enhance what's already there for the body. So the first one is called Soru, or in English they call it shave for some reason. You basically, as Luffy puts it, kick off the ground 10 times in a row. It looks like teleporting, but you're just moving super, super fast. The second one is Geppo. You're kicking off the air so hard, so you could technically kind of fly this way, but not a lot of people do it. They have this other one called Tekkai, or Iron Body. Basically, it just makes your body stronger. You can take hits easier. Not a whole lot to be said about that. All right, I'm gonna try to say this without fucking sounding like a dumbass. Rank Yaku? Rankyaku? You can slice people with your legs. The next one's kind of rough. Shigan, finger pistol, which is exactly what it sounds like. You use your finger like a pistol, and you can just stab the absolute piss out of somebody with it. It's very gross. The 6th one is kind of whatever. Kami-E, just it's Ultra Instinct, basically. That's all you need to know. And this is kind of getting into spoilers, so if you don't want to get spoiled, I'll probably have like a timestamp for when this is over. But there is a 3rd ability that every person in the One Piece world has. Only some awaken, though. It's called Haki. It's kind of like when people awaken their Haki, it's usually through some kind of like life-threatening situation. Or maybe they've trained to unlock it. We'll start off with Observation Haki, aka Spider Sense. Basically, you can dodge things that come in at you really fast. You can kind of feel people's presence. Even if people are invisible with their Devil Fruit power, you would be able to see them with Observation Haki. Armament Haki, you basically coat your body in Haki. It turns it black. You can either coat your weapons, your arms, your body. It's kind of like the Iron Body that I was talking about earlier, but it looks really cool. But this is what they call Conqueror's Haki. And only a specific few people have Conqueror's Haki. And at least the way I've interpreted it is that you kind of have to have big dreams to have Conqueror's Haki. It's kind of like big dick energy personified into an ability. You can kind of like send a wave out that'll knock out people who aren't mentally strong. It's just big dick energy. You're just you're killing everybody. It's nice to know that it's kind of like an everyday man kind of thing. You could be just a normal dude who winds up with a very strong ability. The powers are fun. And devil fruits are very much fun, and they have a lot of spice and flair to them, and they're super fancy. But without Haki, you're kind of useless. Haki is kind of like the natural way to defeat devil fruit users. When I mentioned the Logia guys earlier, with armament, you can actually hit them. Most people can't. Again, with observation, if they're invisible or anything, you can see them. And stuff with devil fruits too. They have this material called Sea Stone, which weakens and nullifies anybody that has like Sea Stone cuffs on or anything like that. The Marines mostly use them. But that's about it for the powers. They're really cool. They're really fun. It's really neat. God, I hope I'm not forgetting anything. It's gonna be terrible. All right, let's tackle the characters. The characters of One Piece are pretty cool. As you'd imagine, I've just spent the last 15 minutes talking about this entire world, and now it's time to fill this world with all the characters that you might meet along the way. Just like the countries, I really don't want to talk about this too much because, again, it's more fun if you go and watch the show on your own. But like I said with the factions, you have like the 4 emperors, you have the 7 warlords, and you have like little other tiny other factions here and there, but the characters in this show never feel like they've been sidelined or sidestepped. I'd say a good 85% of the characters in this show really feel fleshed out. Even if they look like this fucking idiot, they've all been fleshed out. They all have their own personality. They're all different from each other. I'm gonna make a dig right now. I'm sure half the side characters in One Piece have more character than half the main characters in the shows you're probably watching today. And it's a big world. You'll meet tons and tons of characters when watching One Piece. Right now, up to date, there is 1,174 different named characters that have been named, okay? So there are more that haven't been named. Just keep in mind all the information I've given you so far. These characters could be born in different regions of the planet. They could have their own devil fruits, their own powers, their own factions. They could be a marine, they could be a pirate, they could be anything. Pretty big plot points will happen outside of the main cast, so you really have to keep your eye on the important players of the world. Are you gonna fucking check this show out yet? Jeez. Alright, we're moving on to the last final topic. We're talking about the One Piece. I think we've finally come full circle with the entire video here, and although the topic is the One Piece, I can't really tell you anything about it because nobody knows what the One Piece is. All we know is it's a treasure that the King of the Pirates had at some point, and that it's on the last island, Laugh Tale. This is more or less a conclusion. What I want people to get out of this video is, although yes, I love the story of One Piece, and yes, I do love the characters that are in One Piece, I'm never going to see a world like One Piece ever again in any other kind of work. And I hope this gets you excited. I hope you want to watch this show now. I can't emphasize enough how much fun this show is. I've watched it twice. There's 1,017 episodes. I've watched this show twice. I love it. I love the show. It's great. The world building's great. It's amazing. I'm really enjoying these types of videos more and more. Compared to the gaming videos, I'm not really enjoying them as much anymore, but I might post a couple here and there. I like talking about topics that I enjoy, and hopefully you do too. So I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you then.